intervals has to include one or more black keys. So A, what's the next note? Tell me. B, next.
C.
C, next.
D.
D, E. Now watch. If he plays F, it's going to sound funny to you. Play F. G. Good. Play that scale. P. C. Huh? That's not do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It sounds wrong. Here's why it sounds wrong. The space between the last two notes in the scale, remember B to C, has to be a half step. So here's what we have to do. You have to make this note F sharp. Put a sharp next to that, Andrew. Now play it from the beginning. Now, last theoretical thing I'll leave you, because I don't want to get too heavy with this. This is be fun. If we're in a key that begins on G and ends on G, and all of our chords are going to come from G, and all of our scales are going to come from G, and all of our pitches are going to come from this environment, then we do this. We put a label at the beginning over here that is like a little miniature direction packet that says, hello, those of you who are sight reading this piece, I want you to know every F will be played as an F sharp. Every F will be played as an F sharp. And does anybody know what that's called, that little piece of information? It's called a key signature. Good for you. It's a key signature. Andrew, type K. This is a list of the 12 possible key signatures in Western music. This is a list of the 12 possible key signatures in European and American music. And notice, here's our old friend. This is C major. No sharps, no flats. All white keys. But what happens when we go to G? There's a little sharp on that F line that says, remember, every time you play in this key, every F has to be made sharp. Every F has to be made sharp. Andrew, say, oh, choose G major. Oh, why there are 12?
Why there's 16 on this chart?
Because there's 2 at the bottom that, I'll come to that. That's a little bit of an exception. There are 12 possible keys, yes. And why, wait a minute. No, there should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. So C flat major is the same as B. And G flat major is the same as F sharp. F sharp and G flat are the same black key on the piano. Could you select G major? Say OK. Now watch. Oh, undo that, please. Okay, hit escape. Good. Select G major. Now watch what happens. He's going to put that F sharp key signature at the beginning over here. Undo that again. Watch what happens when he puts the F sharp at the beginning. Hold on. What do you think is going to happen?
Should be the same.
It's going to take that tag out.
That one's going to disappear. Why is it going to disappear? It's unnecessary now. We know that every F is going to be sharp. There's no reason to put sharp when there's already an assumption, an understanding, that every F is going to be sharp. Put it in place. So, read the scale for me. Ready? Go. G, A,
B,
C,
T,
E,
F sharp.
correct. Good job. Let's do another one. Let's do another key. key area. Now, next week, I'll teach you some tricks how to figure out the key signature just by looking at it. There's some quick, easy ways to figure out the key signature just by looking at it. I just want you to understand the concept of that. It simply means you have to alter a tone in the scale. By the way, do you know what the term for this is when you put it a sharp or a flat? They're called accidentals. It means they're added in. Now, once we're in the key of G, we understand that all sharps are F sharps. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's try a flat key. Andrew, take that down a step. That scale. Fix that. Good. All right, what's that first note?
F.
F. It's an F scale. Play it, Andrew, and let's see what it sounds like. Play it again. Something's wrong. What's wrong? Answer, we're in the key of F, and the key of F has a flat in it. And it's this note right here, this is B flat. To get the intervals to come out right, to get it to sound right, to get the right series of steps, we have to make that a B flat. So B, imagine B is a white key on the keyboard. We're going to play the black key immediately to the left. We drop that pitch 1/2 step. Okay, play that for me, Andrew. Okay. For the purposes of tonight and for sight reading, I just want you to know that a flat takes it down a 1/2 step and a sharp takes it up a 1/2 step. Okay? Next week, I want to talk a little bit about keys and how they work. Okay? And we'll even maybe sight sing some choral music next week. If we've got enough parts covered. Just fake our way through some choral music. It'll be fun. Okay. Let me review. Pitch, the highness or lowness of a tone. In Western music, it's done alphabetically. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's 7 tones in the musical alphabet. Scale moves by step from one pitch of a certain letter name to the same pitch of the same letter name 8 tones higher. Pitch is notated on lines and spaces in something called a staff. When you have the treble clef and the bass clef together, it's called a grand staff. Piano players get good at this. In that, have sympathy, parents, on your kids who first learn the piano. Think about it. Some poor little kid, we're asking them to read 2 different things, do 2 different things with their hands, read a treble clef, a bass clef, figure out rhythm, figure out pitch, figure out note durations, learn time signatures, learn key signatures. It's immensely complex when you think about it. That's why, truthfully, it's a really good idea to start an instrument when you're kind of young. It's a really good idea, and piano is the best one, truly. I guarantee you that, I promise you that. And for those of you who gave up the piano, your mother was right. Your mother was right saying to play the piano, stick with the piano, enjoy the piano. It's a good foundation for all musical thinking. And by the way, it's never too late. It's never, ever, ever too late to learn to play the piano a little bit, what I would call functional piano. Not that you have to play concerts, but to just be able to get around on the piano a little bit. At the academy where I teach in Fairfax County, piano skills are a prerequisite. We make sure everyone coming in can play the piano a little bit, regardless of what other instrument they play. Having piano skills is really important. And as composers, they sit in front of a keyboard and input their ideas to a computer from a piano keyboard. It's called a MIDI input device. And everything, like what Andrew's doing right now, everything appears on the screen, and you can play it back. Okay, so that's called the ground staff. Remember these lines, what they're called? Bar lines. Very good. And the space between the two bar lines is called a measure.
Measure.
And Andrew, put up a key signature, time signature for me. That measure. Time signature. Right. Scan in real tight on that area for me. Okay. This is like the road map before you start playing. You've got 3 pieces of information there. 3 pieces of information. The first, clef. What's the purpose of the clef? To tell you what the lines mean. Without a clef, the lines mean nothing. The purpose of the clef is to tell you what the lines and spaces are. F-A-C-E. Remember? Spaces are F-A-C-E and the lines are E, G, B, D, F. Second piece of information, a key signature. That tells you if there are any alterations at all to any of the pitches that you're going to sing. Third piece of information, the time signature. 4 over 4. I'm telling you from last week what 4 over 4 means. What's the top number tell you?
Number
4
beats,
beats
Per measure.
per bar, per measure. 4 beats in each measure. 4 tick, tock, tock, tock. 1 measure is over. Next measure, tick, tock, tock, tock. Okay. And the bottom number tells you what kind of note gets 1 beat. When it's a 4, it's a quarter note. So you expect to see 4 of these in 1 bar, right? How many half notes would you see in 1 bar? 2. How many whole notes will fit in 1 bar? 1. How many eighth notes will fit in 1 bar?
8.
8. How many, we did some 16th notes last week, I think. How many 16th notes would fit in a bar?
16.
16. Okay? Andrew, do this for me. Click on this note and do an F major scale going up in 8 notes. And watch, you can fit 8 eighth notes in that bar. Okay, zoom out just a little bit. It's a full F major scale. 8 pitches. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Last thing, this little fellow over here that joins them together is called brace. It just tells you that this is all one instrument, one person, one endeavor playing both of these pieces at the same time. In choral music, the female voices are going to be written up here, the male voices are going to be written down here. So low male, high male, low female, high female. Okay? Everyone knows that the male voice is an octave lower than the female voice. In almost all cases. There's some unusual cases where that doesn't happen. But something happens to the male vocal cords at puberty that causes them to thicken. And the male voice begins to skip around. You know, the boys can't sing with the girls in unison anymore. Pretty soon their voice goes from here to here. You all know what that's like. And so we separate that out. There is a tradition, people in choral music, there's a tradition in Europe of having not male, male, female, female, but male, 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 male. All male choruses sing soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. How is that possible? Answer, low male voices, high male voices. The alto part, the low female, is sung by extremely high male voices, and the soprano part are sung by boys, whose voices have not yet changed. Like the Vienna Boys Choir, the famous Vienna Boys Choir, all males. So we gorgeous sound. Anyone ever heard the Vienna Boys Choir sing? Woo. It's a magnificent sound. Okay. Any questions? Anything you got? Hope this was helpful. Hope it was fun. Any questions you have? Great. It's not just before 9 o'clock, and I wanted to stop at 9 o'clock, so I'm right on the money. Pitch was the subject tonight, rhythm last week. Next week, if you want to come for the third session, we put them all together. Okay? And talk about keys and some other theoretical things. It won't be too hard, believe me. We're not going to delve too deeply to the theoretical side. But you do. There's a quiz at the end.
It's open note, isn't it?
We get to
Hey,
sing,
Chris,
right?
no pun intended, but it's open note test.
It's an open note test. Yeah. Boom, boom, chick. So, no,
Joe is exempt from the quiz.
Joe is exempt.
I'm exempt because you don't want to hear it.
I don't know if you all heard me, I hope you heard me say this last week, but the ability to read music is a disappearing art. Trust me when I say that. When it starts disappearing amongst our youngest citizens, we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. It's a bit of, to me, it's a bit of a reflex from the texting generation. Everything's shortcut, everything is not necessarily clear in its delineation. Music has to be clear. You're going to write it down, you got to be clear. Can you make music without being able to read music? Of course. Of course you can. Jazz musicians do it all the time. Rock musicians do it all the time. The famous statement, the famous question to Louis Armstrong, Louis, do you read music? Remember Louis Armstrong, the jazz trumpet player, do you read music? Not so that it messes up my playing, he said. Not so that it messes with my playing. It's a skill. One example I use in my class is the kind of musician that one needs to be when one is playing session work, that is recording sessions. You need to be able to do both. Improvise, that is to make music up as you go along, and be able to read. Are you familiar with the Motown label, everyone, in recordings? All the songs you grew up with in the 60s? The Motown label was defined by a band of 6 musicians. They called them the Funk Brothers. 6 wonderful musicians who could both read like demons and improvise like crazy.
All night long.
And they gave us those songs, yes. My Girl, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, came out through Motown. They played with some of the best musicians in the world. They were fantastic. They were called the Funk Brothers. You can Google them if you like. But they could read music like crazy, and they could improvise beautifully. So, it's good to have both skills. You've got to have a good ear, yes, but it's great to be able to read too. I tell my students, you know, it's a wonderful thing to be able to read a Shakespeare play. You can go see him and you can have him read to you, but there's nothing like cracking the book and reading Christmas Carol every Christmas like I do. Oh, just love it to read it. Okay, any questions at all? Thanks for coming. Please come next week, everybody. We'll have more fun.
Do we get to sing next week?
Yes, we're going to sing next week. We'll sing some choral music next week. And Debbie and Darwin will be bringing donuts for us next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
And did you go that?
I do now.
They do now.